arrived in Beijing in the afternoon, so we decided to explore some Hutongs and grab a coffee. Beijing has many famous Hutongs, but my absolute favorite is Difeng East Lane. Difeng East Lane is only 210 meters long, but despite its short length, the combination of natural scenery and traditional Hutong architecture is absolutely magical. Compared to those super famous but heavily commercialized Hutongs like Nanlugu Xiang and Yandai Shejie, Difeng East Lane is much quieter and more comfortable. It feels more like a place where locals would actually go for a leisurely stroll. You can navigate to Voyage Coffee, which marks the starting point of Difeng East Lane. Walking along the small river, you might spot little ducklings and koi fish swimming in the water. You can also sit by the riverside with your coffee. It's incredibly peaceful and relaxing. From Difeng East Lane, walk through Yuko Street and you'll reach Dashilan. This Dashilan area used to be old Beijing's CBD, and now you can find almost all traditional Beijing food there. From xiaomai, a dumpling-like steamed bun, to jizi roasted meat, Peking duck, and baodu, quick-boiled tripe. Since we just flew in today and didn't want anything too heavy, we decided to go for my absolute favorite, baodu. Dipped in this sesame sauce and chili oil, it's absolutely delicious! We also ordered some boiled cabbage and sliced lamb for the hot pot. This xiaobing flatbread makes the perfect accompaniment to round out the meal. If you don't know how to order, just show this screenshot to the staff. And that's a wrap for today. Tomorrow, we're officially kicking off our Beijing adventure. So make sure you're subscribed and hit that notification bell so you don't miss it. Today, our Beijing adventure officially begins. We're off to explore two iconic imperial gardens nestled in the northwest corner of the city, the Old Summer Palace, also known as Yuanmingyuan, and the breathtaking Summer Palace, or Yiheiwan. These stunning spots are a bit of a journey from the bustling downtown area. Since we're staying in the Dongcheng district, it's about a 1-hour taxi ride, roughly 26 kilometers, and costs around 10 euros. Not bad, right? Keep this in mind as a handy reference for taxi prices when you're planning your own Beijing trip. Both Yuanmingyuan and Yiheiwan are absolutely massive. We spent about 3 hours exploring Yuanmingyuan and another 4 hours at Yiheiwan. Now, here's the thing about Yuanmingyuan. Due to historical events, much of it has been damaged, and there's not much left intact to see. But its deep historical significance makes it a meaningful destination for many visitors. Personally, I found visiting 2 major gardens in one day to be quite exhausting. If you're short on time and looking for pure sightseeing, Yiheiwan is definitely the star of the show with its stunning scenery. Yuanmingyuan is a place where history whispers through its ruins, and exploring it is like stepping back in time. To make the most of your visit, here's a route that ensures you see the highlights without getting lost. Start at the East Gate and head straight to the maze area. From there, hop on a sightseeing cart at the Western Buildings Ruins stop and ride to the Three Gardens Junction stop. Stroll through the peaceful Qichen Garden and exit via the South Gate. This path not only covers the key spots, but also makes it super convenient to head to Yiheiwan next. A short taxi ride of just over 10 minutes from the Old Summer Palace brought us to the Summer Palace, one of the most well-preserved and stunning imperial gardens in China. Most of the attractions are concentrated near the East Gate, making it the most popular entrance for visitors. However, to avoid the crowds, we chose to enter through the new Palace Gate. Not far from the entrance, we came across an ancient bronze ox, standing quietly by the lakeside, as if guarding the history of this royal retreat. Continuing on, we crossed the famous 17-arch bridge. After crossing the bridge, we arrived at Nanhu Island, a small island in the heart of Kunming Lake. From here, you can enjoy a panoramic view of the Summer Palace's iconic landmark, Longevity Hill. At the Nanhu Island Pier, we boarded a sightseeing boat that took us across the lake to the Marble Boat Pier on the opposite shore. This route not only allowed us to leisurely take in the serene beauty of the lake and its surroundings, but also helped conserve energy for the rest of the visit. I've also prepared a detailed route map here, which I hope will be helpful for your trip. The Summer Palace is vast, covering an area equivalent to 4 or 5 forbidden cities. It is divided into administrative, residential, and garden areas, with countless attractions to explore. If your time is limited, I highly recommend two must-visit and most fascinating spots: traveling in a painting and the Hall of Dispelling Clouds and the Tower of Buddhist Incense. Traveling in a painting is one of the most poetic attractions in the Summer Palace. As you ascend the mountain path, the view suddenly opens up, revealing the shimmering surface of Kunming Lake. In the distance, the 17-arch bridge and Nanhu Island come into view, creating a breathtaking scene. What's most remarkable, however, are the pavilions and corridors built along the mountain's contours. These structures, with their layered arrangement and intricate design, resemble a three-dimensional Chinese landscape painting. The architecture takes full advantage of the natural terrain, with winding corridors connecting the pavilions and towers, creating a sense of depth and harmony. Standing here, you truly feel as though you are walking within a painting. The second spot is the Hall of Dispelling Clouds and the Tower of Buddhist Incense, are the highest points in the Summer Palace and its most iconic structures. The Hall of Dispelling Clouds is a grand palace complex that once served as the venue for important royal ceremonies during the Qing dynasty. Its interiors are lavishly decorated, with intricate carvings and painted beams that exude imperial grandeur. Beyond the hall, a path leads upward to the Tower of Buddhist Incense, the highest point in the Summer Palace. From here, you can enjoy a sweeping view of Kunming Lake and even catch a glimpse of Beijing in the distance. The tower itself is a masterpiece of architecture, with its octagonal, three-tiered structure gleaming in gold and embodying the solemnity and mystique of Buddhist culture. A special reminder: the Hall of Dispelling Clouds closes at 5 p.m., so be sure to plan your visit accordingly and aim to arrive by 4 p.m. to allow enough time for exploration. After a long day of exploring, it's time to treat yourself to one of Beijing's culinary treasures, Peking duck. The most famous spots to try it are Quanjude, Dadong, and Shijiminfuku. Honestly, you can't go wrong with any of them, so just pick the one closest to you. But here's the thing: book ahead. Super important. A quick tip: all 3 restaurants have picture menus, so ordering is super easy. You can also choose between a half or whole duck, and the server will ask if you'd like the duck frame prepared with salt and pepper or made into soup. I always go for the soup option. It's a fragrant, comforting duck broth that's the perfect way to end your meal. Day 3 is Museum Day. We're visiting the National Museum of China and Temple of Heaven Park since they're close to each other. The National Museum is free, but you need to book in advance. Go to WeChat and search for National Museum of China. This is the mini program for international visitors. They release new slots every day at 5 p.m. Beijing time, and you need to book at least 7 days ahead. Getting there: take the subway to Tiananmen East Station on Line 1, exits C or D. Since it's right by Tiananmen Square, this place has airport-level security, and lines can be long, so arrive early before your reserved time slot. This museum is massive. You could spend an entire day here. The must-see is the Ancient China Exhibition Hall on the basement level. This is where all the most valuable artifacts are, including pieces that are banned from leaving China. Plan to spend about 3 hours here. Trust me, you'll need it. Then we headed to Temple of Heaven Park. The Temple of Heaven is the world's largest and most complete surviving imperial sacrificial architectural complex. This was essentially the emperor's hotline to communicate with heaven. This is the center of Heaven's Stone, where legend says the purple forbidden enclosure where the Jade Emperor resides is directly above. Ancient emperors would stand here to communicate with the heavenly emperor. The circular mound altar is round inside and square outside, corresponding to the ancient Chinese cosmological concept of round heaven, square earth. This is the echo wall, built with such dense bricks that they absorb almost no sound. When I was little and there were hardly any tourists, my favorite game was having my mom stand at one end while I stood at the other, to see if she could hear me. It's currently under renovation, and the wall has been damaged, so I'm not sure if it still has this acoustic effect. This path leading to the Hall of Prayer for Good Harvests is 360 meters long, continuously ascending, symbolizing rising step by step and getting better and better. The Temple of Heaven was where Ming and Qing emperors conducted spring grain prayers, summer rain prayers, and winter solstice heaven worship. The most iconic building is the Hall of Prayer for Good Harvests. Inside the hall, 4 golden pillars represent the 4 seasons. The middle 12 pillars represent the 12 months of the year, and the outermost 12 eve pillars represent the 12 time periods of a day. A crucial concept in ancient Chinese philosophy is unity of heaven and humanity. This architecture both expresses reverence for heaven and demonstrates that the emperor was the center of power. But the ruler depends on the people, and the people depend on food for survival. So the emperor's main purpose in coming here for sacrifices was hoping that common people could have enough food and clothing, favorable weather, and peace throughout the land. Today we're visiting Beijing's most famous attraction, the Forbidden City. With its 600-year history, the Forbidden City is the world's largest and most complete surviving wooden palatial architectural complex. Home to 24 emperors throughout its history, Beijing was built around a central axis in the 13th century, and the Forbidden City sits right at the heart of this axis. There are 2 ways to enter the Forbidden City. You can walk from Tiananmen Square to the Meridian Gate, or, and this is what I highly recommend, you can go through the Imperial Ancestral Temple, Tai Miao, and arrive directly at the Meridian Gate. I suggest this route for 2 reasons. First, the security check at Tiananmen is extremely strict with very long queues. And second, since you can't enter the interior of the Forbidden City's palaces, visiting Tai Miao gives you a perfect opportunity to see the interior structure of imperial architecture. Tai Miao is a severely underrated attraction. It's China's largest and highest-ranking imperial ancestral temple, where Ming and Qing emperors worshipped their ancestors. Think of it as China's pantheon. In ancient China, when someone made outstanding contributions to the country, people would say they deserved to be honored in Tai Miao. This was the highest honor for ancient subjects. This was part of the merit-based honor system established by emperors to encourage loyalty, where tablets of meritorious officials were enshrined here. This is Tai Miao's main building, the Hall for Worship of Ancestors. The hall is absolutely majestic, elevated on 3 tiers of white marble steps and crowned with yellow glazed tiles in a double-eaved hip roof style. Inside the hall, the beams and columns are made of precious golden Nanmu wood, and you can smell the subtle, elegant woody fragrance throughout the hall. The entire space is luxuriously magnificent, both solemn and splendid. Exiting Tai Miao brings you directly to the Meridian Gate, the only entrance to the Forbidden City. Now we enter the Forbidden City. Though it's massive, understanding its functional layout makes navigation much clearer. The entire complex is divided by the Gate of Heavenly Purity into 2 main sections. The front area serves as the office zone, while the back area is the residential zone. The office area features the 3 great halls, where virtually all major historical events took place. The residential area includes the emperor's living quarters, the eastern and western 6 palaces, and the imperial garden. Entering through the Meridian Gate, you first reach the Gate of Supreme Harmony, then cross the courtyard to the square of the Hall of Supreme Harmony. This is where grand ceremonies took place, such as imperial coronations. Behind the Hall of Supreme Harmony is the Hall of Central Harmony, which served as the emperor's resting room, followed by the Hall of Preserving Harmony, where the imperial examinations were held. Scoring first place here meant working directly alongside the emperor. Passing through the Gate of Heavenly Purity, you reach the Palace of Heavenly Purity, where the emperor slept. Legend has it that there were 9 bedrooms and 27 beds inside to prevent assassins from knowing exactly where the emperor was sleeping. Behind it are the Hall of Union and the Palace of Earthly Tranquility. Unfortunately, because of the Palace Museum's centennial renovation during my visit, I wasn't able to film these areas. We then arrived at the Imperial Garden. Though small, it's exquisitely beautiful. The most famous features are the 4 pavilions at each corner: north, south, east, and west, and their intricate ceiling decorations called caisson ceilings. Don't miss looking up, especially at the caisson ceiling of the Pavilion of 10,000 Springs. The Forbidden City's architectural philosophy embodies ancient Chinese concepts of yin-yang and 5 elements theory, following principles of back to mountains, facing water, embracing yang while backed by yin, front court and rear residence. Exiting through the Divine Meridian Gate, you can see Jingshan Hill, which literally represents the back to mountains concept. After touring the Forbidden City, we climbed Jingshan Hill, where you can overlook the entire Forbidden City. Absolutely spectacular! The Forbidden City and Jingshan form an organic whole, together showcasing the profound concepts and technical achievements of ancient Chinese capital city planning. Beijing is huge, and there are so many amazing places not covered in this video. China itself is vast too. We'll explore it stop by stop. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and follow my channel, because our next destination is Shanxi Province.